How's that for timing? Hey, everybody. It's me, Mitch. Deja vu. Why does it seem that I've done this before? Good to see you. Good to see you. The early birds are here. That's always great to see. And I'm assuming that you can see me and hear me. And if there's anything to the contrary, let me know quickly in the chat so I can fix it real quick. I see we got all the usual suspects checking in here. Always good to see you. Always good to see a lot of Floridians in here. Great. Well, let me get my little disclaimer out of the way early. You know that I am not a doctor, and although I love taking questions from you, I cannot do what Ken Berry and Chafee does and answer individual particular medical questions, and we shouldn't do that anyway. Like Ken Berry says, he says, I may be a doctor, but I'm not your doctor, and I'm not even a doctor. I don't even play a doctor on TV. What I do talk about is a lot of stuff I've learned that affected me, my personal experience, what worked, what didn't work over a lifetime. Take it for what it's worth. If it works for you, great. And according to what I'm seeing, a lot of it is working for you guys. And I love seeing the comments with the success stories, and very heartwarming. It's very heartwarming. I have discovered a way to not miss any of your questions if you put them in the chat. As long as you put 3 capital Qs first. I've come up with, I guess it's not my invention, it was there all the time, but if I just use Windows search feature to search for any occurrence of the 3 Qs, it takes me right to them. And then when I press my F3 key on a keyboard, it takes me to the next one. When it gets to the end of the chat, it goes back up to the beginning and takes me to that. So thank you, QQQ. We'll look for them in a little while after I say hi to some people. And let me see on my trusty cell phone here if I've got any announcements. Well, yeah, it's kind of sad, but not surprising, is it? An awful lot of famous people have died here recently. Most of them of unpleasant diseases. Shelley Duvall, if you remember her, died of complications of diabetes. And then 2 that stood out to me because both of them, their lives were supposed to be about health and wellness. Richard Simmons. And I remember Richard Simmons and his whole thing was based around the calories in, calories out, eat less, move more. Not particularly about what you ate, but just how much exercise you could accomplish and how little you could eat. And if you remember Richard Simmons, you'll remember that there's 2 things that he was well known for. He had a series of videos called Sweatin' to the Oldies, and he would dress up in some god-awful looking leotard or something and prance around and get all these people to kill themselves exercising. And the second thing that he was pretty well known for was something called Deal a Meal. You remember Deal a Meal? He had these deck of cards. Both of those things were completely and totally about eating less, moving more. I'm sure he was not high on the recommending sugar list, but certainly the plant-based stuff had to be at the top of his list. And it's sad. And nobody, I went and took a look, because who the hell has been following Richard Simmons? Richard Simmons was 75 years old, Ellen. He was 2 years younger than I am. But for the past 10 years, I went back and looked up briefly, his life story. For the past 10 years, nobody really saw. He was a recluse for the past 10 years. I'm pretty sure he wasn't well. So, in my opinion, like so many people who push these plant-based diets, they don't come to a real pleasant end, and the last 5 or 10 years of their life are probably spent suffering, and that's a shame. But he was, Lynn Williams says he was past his expiration date. Well, you're looking at one of them, sweetie. I am past my expiration date, too. My expiration date now, officially, according to all statistics in this country, is 76. And that's sobering to me when I see all of these people dying all around me. All my friends are dead. You see these celebrities dying. When you see, and the third one I wanted to mention, when you see John McDougall, the famous vegan doctor who pushed this plant-based stuff, and he died at 77. Now, that's anecdotal. You can't read any hard data from that, but it's just becoming more and more common, and it's sad. So rest in peace, all of you guys. We're still trying to learn how we're supposed to do this. And I think we're on the right track, taking our cues from our ancestors. At any rate, that was sad. I wanted to talk about that a little bit, not to say told you so or anything like that. I don't like to do that kind of thing. Well, we're off to a relatively quiet start here tonight. 58 people. So we'll see how many other people discover us. I don't know what else might be going on tonight, who else may be having live streams. Whether people are busy watching politics or anything else, but whoever shows up is going to be here, and I'm glad to see all of you. And as soon as I take a sip of this, start saying hi to people. You're plenty active in the chat, I'll give you that. I will give you that. Okay, let's go back up to the top of this chat, and we had Jody at Drone Shots came in early and said hi to me. CB Carmack was here early. Hey, CB, how you doing? CB, you cost me money today. This whole Prime Day, I bought two things. I bought that, they had that Cuisinart smoker. It wasn't the Masterbuilt like you have, but it was only like $250 on a Prime Day deal. Electric, 30-inch. I'm a single guy. I could smoke enough food in that thing at one time to eat for a week. So, like I say, the beauty of buying something from Amazon is if it doesn't work out or it isn't what you thought, you can always send it back. And then late in the day, I got a notice from Amazon. And I got a notice from Amazon for that Cuisinart smoker, more than likely because I had looked at the Masterbuilt that you recommended the other night, last Thursday night to me. And Amazon knows all and sees all. And they knew that at one point in time, I was looking at these smokers. Had nothing to do with my affiliate or associate account. It was just me as a buyer. And sure enough, I got that notice from them today that they were having that flash deal or that Prime Day deal on that smoker, which was close to half off. And I said, for $150, what the hell? I want one. you made sure that you got my interest on that on that. She says, "Sorry, I owe you." Don't be sorry, man. Anything, anything that makes this a less weird diet, anything that gives us ways to broaden the way we prepare our food can only help us. That's why I do all these different appliance things, because otherwise, if you just flip a couple hamburger patties in a frying pan every day, it's going to be harder to do than if you can get excited about preparing things in new ways, slightly different dishes. Like that frittata. See, I still do it. That frittata that I came up with, that I've gotten more compliments on that recipe. People are making them every week. They're loving them. And that soup thing that I made yesterday, wow, what a surprise. What a surprise that was. And when you think about this. There might have been 10, 15, maybe $15 worth of chuck, of which I already ate plenty of it that first night after I had pressure cooked it. So what I had left to make soup out of was probably less than $10 worth. To that, I added $5 worth of hamburger, about $2 worth of bacon, and about $2 worth of hot dogs. So I'm under 20 bucks. I've got at least a half a dozen meals. I mean, big meals. Throw some pork rinds in them, and it's filling as hell and delicious. Plenty of fat. And something I didn't mention in the video that was important. The amount of collagen and different fats that were in that soup is enormous. Everything, all the fat from the chuck roast, all the collagen, when you refrigerate it, it gels. It's like gelatin under the layer of fat. All of that is in the soup. None of that goes anywhere. None of that goes anywhere. Hey, Metro drones. Man, there's a blast from the past. How you doing, man? Look at this. Look at this. Oh, you're right. I haven't seen you in a long time. Good to see you, man. And I'm glad you found me. How you been? How you been? This was one of my regular guys years and years ago. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. Anyway, good to see you here. Maybe we make a carnivore out of you now. Stick around a little while. We're not talking about drones, but you listen to what I'm saying. It's good for you. Look at me, man. Look at me. 138 pounds. Working out every day, 77 years old. This thing has changed my life. And watch some of the videos. I'm telling you. Great to see you, man. Thanks for coming in, and thanks for that super chat. Much appreciated. Anyway, isn't that great? Isn't that great? So, about the soup, you take this soup, and it's got everything in it, and nothing was wasted. Nothing was wasted. It is an incredibly nutritious meal, and you can eat a huge bowl of that. And it's got bacon and burger and chuck roast. And I put the hot dogs in kind of as a lark. That was kind of a last minute. I thought it would be kind of a gag. And I didn't think about hot dogs. I knew that I had bought this beef smoked sausage at Aldi many times in the past. And it was very low in carbs, which hot dogs and sausage these days is not. It's amazing when you look at the labels of the brands of the all beef hot dogs I used to buy, the Hebrew National, the Nathans, the Sabrettes. They crammed that full of sugar. They ruined the taste of these hot dogs. It was horrible with all the bad for you crap that they throw into them these days. I never buy them. So I went off on a mission. I went off on a mission to Aldi to buy one item. I knew exactly where it is in Aldi. I knew exactly what refrigerated case, what shelf it's on. Beef smoked sausage. I went into Aldi, and while I was there, I walked by the pork rinds, and I saw that they hadn't been picked over yet. And they had a ton of the plain ones still in the bag. So I bought a half a dozen bags of those. Went over to the case where the beef sausage was, and there was like 3 cardboard bins, all had sausage in them, and they looked like the beef sausages. I said, great. And I grabbed one of them, and I looked at the label, and it said turkey kielbasa. Now, I'm sure it probably tasted okay. I looked at the label. It was crammed full of sugar, and it was turkey, which is probably one of the most useless proteins that you could probably put in your body, especially turkey breast. Ugh. Dry, no fat. I guess it'd do in a pinch if you were starving, but not the most nutritious protein you could be eating. So I picked one up from the other bin. Same thing. Picked one up from the third bin. Same thing. Looked to see if there was any boxes in Aldi. They put full boxes behind the boxes that are in the front. And then when the box is empty in the front, you take it away, the box in the back slides down. And sure enough, there was a box behind. So I shuffled things around. I felt like an Aldi stock boy. And the box from behind came sliding down. Also, turkey kielbasa. Little girl walked by, one of the employees. I said, where's the beef sausage? Smoked sausage, she says. Well, if it's not there, we're out of it. I said, don't you have any in the back? She said, if it's not, this was a rocket science. If it's not there, we're out of it. I said, okay. So I went all the way to Aldi just to get this beef smoked sausage for my soup, and it would have been much better. So I started looking at their hot dogs. The first hot dogs I picked up had 5 grams of carbs per hot dog, per serving. 5 grams of carbs. They had loaded so much sugar in that. It was crazy. It was criminal. And I finally found the Nathans, which have always been quality hot dogs. They were skinny little things. They were just, it's obvious that they've cut way back on the serving sizes of these things. At any rate, they had 1 gram of carbs per serving, per hot dog. So I figured, you know what, I'll put 3 or 4 of these things in there, cut them up. So for this whole bowl of soup, I'll have 3 or 4 grams of carbs. I can live with that. So I bought the hot dogs, came home, put them in there. They were tasty. They had some garlic in them. Well, most hot dogs do. And that added a little garlic to the soup from the hot dogs. And that worked out great. And it was delicious. And if you've never tried to do this yet, if any of you ever enjoyed French onion soup with the croutons, take the pork rinds. Take the pork rinds. Put a handful. I ended up eating that whole bowl of pork rinds that I pulled. I just kept, it was like I was eating pork rind soup. It was so tasty, and it had a little crunch, and that pork rind soaked up the soup in it like a crouton does. And not just the taste of that, but the mouth feel of eating that soup with the meat and the bacon and the burger and all the fat and collagen that was in it and the crunch of the pork. It was absolutely a fabulous dining experience, and I have decided that I am going to keep that stuff in the refrigerator all the time so I can have, even if it's just a small cup of it, as part of a meal, as an appetizer to a meal. It is delicious and cheap as hell to make. So I hope you like that, and I hope that you'll make that. At least try it once. I've gotten a lot of advice on how I should change it and modify it, and of course, that's just what I did. It was an off the top of my head idea. I didn't even know how much water to add. So as it cooked, I just kept adding water. One thing I did buy from, I forgot about it. One thing I did buy from Amazon today that costs less than $20 is Instant Pot. Does sell a glass and stainless steel lid for the pot that you can use so you don't have to put that big pressure lid on it if you want to close it up. Because you don't need the pressure lid. The only mode that needs that is when you're using it as a pressure cooker. If you're sous videing in it, if you're making soup in it, then it's just like a pot on a stove. And that way you don't have to clean that, take that rubber seal out and clean it. You don't have to deal with that big heavy lid. You get a glass lid, fits perfectly right on the pot. So I bought one of those. I thought that'd make a good addition to it. I put a link on my website for it next to the Instant Pot, which is now the newer Whisper Quiet steam release one, because evidently we sold so many of those Instant Pots that Amazon ran out of them. I'd love to take credit for that, but I didn't. They sold thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of those things. It's crazy, and they at that price, it was a hell of a deal. So if you got one at that price, it was a great deal, but it's gone. The more expensive one, when that ran out, they lowered to $99, which is still a good deal, still an okay deal. So I substituted the link to the new one. If anybody still wants one, I think it's worth it. I scoured. I spent God knows how many hours today. We're just reading the things I got from Amazon about all of these deals. 99% of them I had no interest in. You would have no interest in. Everything from clothes to makeup to, it's incredible. Thousands, tens, hundreds of thousands of things that they have available for this Prime Day deal. They did send me one thing, and I had to I made a little video about it, and I just was thrilled because I was able to buy one of these fairly big battery backup things that you can use for running appliances at home. I have a little gas generator, but for short power failures or anything, this thing will run a refrigerator. It'll run up to a couple thousand watts. Weighs about 30 pounds. Normally those things are about $1,000. It's an EcoFlow that I bought. I released a little video. In that video, there's a link to it. I didn't. I figure one or two of you might want to know about this because I've never seen them this cheap. For $69, $479, I had to buy one. If I don't like it, I'll send it back. But I think I've been researching these things for a couple of years now. And one of the main reasons that I want it is that thing will power this. It'll power all of this, everything, including my internet modem, my routers, all my network switches, all the computers that I'm running, the monitors. And based on what all of this stuff draws, and I know exactly how much it draws because I have a UPS down there, a big uninterruptible power supply in case the power fails, that tells me what it draws. That with that big battery, even if I have a power failure, I can power this whole entire thing for, the way I figure it, between 6 and 8 hours. I could actually, with a dark house, do a live stream. And I think that's great. So for 400 something bucks, I bit the bullet and I bought one, and I'll let you know how it works, but it is off topic. It's off topic for what we do here, and you don't find me doing too much off topic stuff. I'm not a technology channel. I'm a carnivore or a cigarnivore. If you saw my Monday thing. But at any rate, that's what I spent my day doing, mostly looking at Amazon. And 4 or 5 or 6 of the items that I normally have on my website did go on special today. And I put some community posts on my website. So if you're interested in finding out what they are and you didn't see them, I won't go over them here. Just go to the community tab and you'll see those posts. The frying pan that everybody likes, that Mueller 12-inch stone ceramic, and I was told by some commenter that there's no stone in it, so it's a scam. Okay, I don't care what they call it. It's a good frying pan. Everybody who's got them has commented to me it's the best frying pan they've ever seen in their life. Better than $100, $150 pans. And it's on sale again during Prime Days for 25 bucks. And that's when I bought 2 of them the last time they lowered that price. That little bacon grease catcher thing is on sale. I think the handheld infrared thermometer that I use to see how hot my frying pans are and how hot the oil is when I go to fry things in bacon grease, I think that's on sale. So look for that stuff if you're interested. There's always some incredible deals on Prime Day, but it's usually, the real deals are usually on the bigger ticket things and the gadgets that Amazon makes. If you're ever going to buy an Echo or a Fire TV stick or any of Amazon's electronic, in-house electronic, you'll never find them any cheaper than on their Prime Days. And their Prime Days are the equivalent to Black Friday. And they have deals that flash up and last an hour or two. You got to be on them. And you'll see a countdown on them that says so many % sold. It's crazy. I can't even imagine how busy their delivery guys are going to be in the next few days. Oh, at any rate, CB, how you doing? CB Carmack is here. How you doing? And he's saying hi to everybody. Scooby the dog, Ellen, is here out in California. How you doing, Ellen? I said hi to them. We got Tom, Viking 442 in Tampa. We're like a big family now, this crew of people. We have Northside Hawk is here. How you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Jody says hi to everybody. Oscar Rodriguez is here. Hey, from Miami. How you doing, Oscar? Good to see you. Tammy Pitarch. Hi, Tammy. How you doing? We have Marcel Carnivore. Hello, man, he says. And Patrice Ferguson is here. Hello from Vegas. Hey, how you doing out there in Vegas? Hot enough for you? We hear about that on the news. It makes Florida seem cool. But then again, Vegas has always been hot. When I was in the computer business years ago, I used to go out to Vegas for Comdex every year. Did that for God knows how many years. Every year. And it was so hot out there that when you walked out of the hotel, it felt like somebody had 6 hair dryers in their hand and blowing that hot air in your face. And one day in Vegas, it's so dry and hot, I went to a cigar store and bought a cigar and made the mistake of just sticking it in my shirt pocket. By the time I got back to the hotel, the thing was dust. Terrible. At any rate, stay cool. Stay cool. Richard Williams is here from Copper Hill, Tennessee. How you doing, Richard? And Mark Davis is here. Hiya, Mark. How you doing? Good to see you, man. Michael Pregler is here. Hiya, Michael. How you doing? And my buddy Cliff Medina. Hi, Cliff. Good to see you. Linda Price is here. Patrice Ferguson. Quite a setup you got there. Yeah, NASA. NASA would be proud of me. NASA would be proud. But if you're going to do a live stream and you just don't want to be a talking head and you want to be able to show stuff and do things, you need a studio. You need to set up a studio. And you can do it on a notebook, but you need the monitors. You need the screen real estate to keep track of the broadcasting software and the streaming software and the actual live stream that's going out, or a browser where you might want to show something. You just need this stuff. And speaking of that, let me show you guys something here just 4 grins. It'll take me, I can do it this way. Did I lose you guys? I think I did. I'm back. Sorry. I'm back. Hit the wrong button. Holy cow. At any rate, I'm back. This is my subscriber count. And some of these numbers are milestones. Let me make sure I'm still live. Yeah, I'm still live, and okay, sorry about that, guys. How many did I didn't lose any of you? Yeah. So what am I showing? That's what I'm showing you. Good. Okay. So that's my live subscriber count. I am 22 away from 35,000. I don't expect it to hit that tonight, but I went ahead and pulled that up just for the hell of it, so I could check in every once in a while. Because if that happened on a live stream, I would absolutely want to have a little party. So we'll check back in later and see, but surely by tomorrow, I will have the 35,000 subscribers. So isn't that special? All right, sorry about that little, I hit a button that said, I don't know what I hit wrong, but all of a sudden I was looked like I got logged out of my streaming software for some reason. So I had to quick log back in. I'll watch the replay and see what happened. But for those of you that hung around for that brief blackout, thank you so much. So where was I? I was saying hi to people, and I don't remember how far I got. I see Boyd Lamb is here. I see Papa Carnivore is here. How you guys doing? Oh man, Florida. Kathy is here. Hi, Kathy. Lynn Williams, how are you? Good to see you. When hurricane comes, you can stay. Unless most of us have left for a few hurricanes, and some of them were pretty bad. Last year I stayed. And most people here stay. A lot of people, what'll happen is, will go just get a hotel room close by. But if it's one of these Category 5s coming right at us, like Andrew, no, I'm going. I'm loading up the car with everything valuable I can cram in there and hitting the road. And I can go to my daughter's on the other side of the state. And we played that game a few years ago. And the hurricanes keep changing direction, and you end up dodging them. It's crazy. It's not worth it. So if one day you hear that old Mitch got buried in a hurricane, so be it. But I think that my house has been here for 1990 to now, 35 years, 34 years. And it hasn't had any damage from hurricane other than some siding blew up. I've survived a tornado. They're pretty solid. Got a new metal roof this year because of the damage from that tornado. So my insurance company bought me a nice new roof. And I think I'll be okay unless something comes along where we're going to have 130, 40 mile an hour winds. And then you're not safe in a concrete house. So you got to evacuate. But let's hope. Every year it's like playing dodgeball. It's like being a bowling pin in a bowling alley. You see the ball coming. You don't know which way it's going to curve quite yet. You know, more than likely it's going to affect you, but it may hit the guys on the other side of the alley and leave you standing. So you never know. It is a little stressful. But where are you going to live in this country where you don't have some kind of stress? If you live in the Midwest, you get tornadoes. If you live out west, you get earthquakes and fires. And that's planet Earth. It doesn't care about us insignificant little creatures roaming around on its surface. It does what it's going to do. It's got volcanoes. It's got all kinds of things. Did I say hi to Lynn Williams? Yes, I did. Good to see you. Papa Carnivore. I don't know if I said hi to you. Isn't the Malden smoked sea salt amazing? It is great stuff. I use it on my ribs. I love it on that. So you guys are all talking up a storm to each other. Let's see who I missed in the hello department. Cheryl Cobbett. How you doing from Cheryl in Canada? Good to see you. Steve Studley. Hiya, Steve. How you doing? Rose Borgman is here. Hiya, Rose. And I think I said hi to Patrice already. CB Carmack tells me I'm back. Good. So I did go away. I don't know what I hit. Whatever I hit, I better be careful not to hit it again. See, that's what I get for showing off all how complicated this thing is. You know, come back and bite me when I'm not looking. Scooby tells me, Ellen tells me I'm back too. You look like a California blonde, Ellen. Yes, Ellen, you do. Yes, you do. Charles Tate, how are you? Here's one of the two needed. Hey, let's take a look. Let's take a look there. Yes, let's hit that button. Let's hit that button, and we are at 34 now. We are almost just 20 away, 21 away. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate it. And I'll keep an eye on that through the evening. Oh, I had this up here to show you too. In case you were all wondering, this is the thing that I bought on Amazon, that big power thing. It stands probably over a foot tall, weighs 30 pounds, and has all kinds of outlets on it. And you can plug a refrigerator, freezer, hair dryer, coffee maker. It won't power the whole house, but it'll power the things that you need right then, and a TV and a fan and a light and things that might get you through a power failure. But even more importantly than that, it's covered with USB ports on the front, which means you can charge up your notebooks, your cell phones, or anything else that's USB powered. So I think they're probably handy to have. They charge up off your regular AC outlet. It takes I think 80 minutes to go from 0 to 100% charged. It's not like a generator. It's not something you can run your whole house on and keep pouring gas in it. But for short, less than a day, you can probably power the essential things that you need. You'll be able to. I bought that smoker, the Cuisinart smoker. I'm sure this thing would power that smoker for half a day. So. And they sell, not that I want to buy one until I see, you can actually daisy chain more batteries to it and double, triple the thing. And they sell solar panels. For people who go camping with these things, that's all they need. They throw out those solar panels and they've got this thing and they power their whole camping trip out there. So they're pretty neat. They're pretty neat. So let's do this. Let's start back in the chat here. Let's search for the first question. Q. Enter. And I see Lynn Williams says, so smoking salmon. You know, I hadn't thought of that. But good job. Good job, Lynn. Good job. That is a fabulous idea. I can buy these wild-caught sockeye salmon fillets at Sam's, and I get them when they're marked down. And I can take him out there in that smoker. And the main reason I got it was so that I could smoke baby back ribs, so that I could smoke things like a Boston butt and make pulled pork. I got it so that I could smoke brisket. I love all that stuff. Chicken wings. You can smoke chicken wings. And then if you want to crisp them up, a lot of people put them under the broiler. That's a great use for an air fryer to finish the wings. I think it's going to open up just a whole new realm, not only of ways for me to eat and different eating experiences, but certainly material for YouTube videos that'll just keep me going on this channel. Keeping it fresh, doing something new. So I'm really looking forward to that. And I got that smoker for 150 something bucks. And there is a link on my website. I think I put a link. Yes, I think I did. Anyway, if it's not there, email me. Send me a Gmail, oldguycarnivore@gmail, and I'll send you the link to it. But I don't know. I think it's the price will probably go up in a day or two anyway. But thank you for that suggestion, Lynn. That's great. Let's see what's the next question I got here. I have David Gates says QQQ hello. That's not a question, David, but hello to you too. And I hadn't said hello to you. I hadn't seen you before. And that's it. You guys are not in an inquisitive mood tonight. So, Papa Carnivore, I saw that. I saw your comment that said, in fact, it was your comment, I believe, that got me scrambling for the computer to find out what the hell happened. I've been monitoring those things because I didn't think they'd last. I was surprised that 7-in-1 Ninja at 179 bucks lasted as long as it did. But that thing, the $99 one is the newer model. It's exactly the same. It's got a different looking lid and some kind of an automatic steam release instead of manual. I don't think, and a kind of a redesigned control panel. And they got that for 99 bucks. So if you really got to have one of those, that's a pretty good price for that one, because I didn't buy that one because it was, at the time, was almost twice what the $75 one that I bought cost. And as far as I was concerned, that $75 one was perfect. That was their top selling model for years. So at any rate, I have I got another super chat here I need to address from Mark Davis. Hi, Mark. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. Oh my God, I'm going to kill you. I am having an 8-monitor computer system being built by Falcon Computers for my stock trading only. They are supposedly worldwide known for building fast computers aimed at trading only. We will see once that up. Man, Mark, I had no idea. You absolutely need to email me some pictures of that when it's done. That is fabulous. That sounds fabulous. I used to, 30, 40 years ago, I traded commodities for a while. I did okay at it, but it's a stressful business. And back in those days, I had kind of a state-of-the-art multi-monitor setup, but nothing like what they're building today. And God, you can rent that out to NASA when they shoot off rockets as a control center. So thank you so much, Mark. And that's amazing. I can't wait to see that. And you send me a picture of that. I will talk about it on one of the live streams here and show it to everybody, because I have never personally had an opportunity to sit down at an 8 monitor setup. I've had as many as 4 monitors on one machine because so many of the big graphics cards that they have will handle 4 monitors easily. But that machine of yours is going to require 2 or more of these very expensive NVIDIA or AMD graphics cards to make sure that the monitors and the graphics don't bog that down. I'll tell you, man, you're going to have one hell of a gaming machine or a machine to run Microsoft Flight Simulator on. That'd be fun. At any rate, thank you so much. And let's look for some more questions here. Let's see if we got some more questions. Golf Addict. Question. Hey, Mitch, how the heck are you? Did you order the smoker yet? Next month I may have to have one. I did. I got it. I got it today. And let me do this. I ordered it today. Let me go into my orders here on Amazon. And it's coming this Saturday. And this is it right here. It's $158 for this Prime Day deal. This is what it looks like. One of the things that I actually liked about this is it does not have a glass door on it. I've really been looking into these things, CB, since we talked about them the other night, and one of the most common complaints about the glass door is that it gets, it steams up in there, you don't see it anyway, and the glass door just gets you have to clean it all the time. And I said, why do I don't need to see it. I'll open the door to look at it once in a while, but it's time and temperature. So this thing for $158, I thought was a great deal. And I don't know if I put a link for it anywhere, but I'll tell you what I'll do, guys. If any of you are thinking about doing this, I will put this link in the chat, and it's there. So if you want to check it out, you can check it out. But I'm excited about that. It's electric. It uses wood chips, not pellets. The wood chips you get at Home Depot, Lowe's, Ace Hardware, Amazon. Everybody sells them. They're cheap. There's, I don't know, 9 or 10 different types of wood and flavors, so you can experiment with those things. It's electric, and since it only goes in the 200 plus degree range, you're not using the heating elements a lot. It's insulated. Shouldn't use a ton of electricity. I'm excited. I hadn't even thought of a smoker before a week ago. Now I'm excited. It's like a whole new life. So that's the smoker that I got. And if I can find some fortitude and some restraint, maybe I won't spend more money tomorrow. But if I were betting people, I guarantee you something that I won't be able to live without. Something in the gadget or kitchen appliance category will come up, and that weakness will rear its ugly head yet again. Unbelievable. Mark Davis. Thank you, Mark. How many miles per day do you try to walk? You are going to really like the smoker. Yeah, Mark, I really think that smoker, maybe no more than an air fryer did, but I'm getting to the point where I think that if you want to be a carnivore, you can be the best fed, most elegantly fed carnivore on the planet if you don't even have a kitchen. All you need is a folding table. Just look at Dante Ferrigno. All you need is a folding table, an air fryer, a smoker, and a barbecue, and a tub to wash your dishes in. I mean, and you could eat like a king and be a carnivore. It's crazy. You don't even need a range top anymore, and you don't need an oven anymore. I certainly don't need a dishwasher, not just for me. So it's crazy. It's crazy, and I love it. Anyway, Mark, thanks again, man. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. Yes, I think I'm going to I'm going to share that whole experience with all of you. I am going to be making video after video. I'm going to have to rename my channel the Carnivore Barbecue or something like that, because hey, these barbecue channels do tremendously on YouTube. There's, with all the people that are demonizing meat all over the place and all the vegans out there marching and protesting and everything, for some reason, there's a hell of a lot of barbecuing going on in this country. And an awful lot of people are going to Outback Steakhouse and the Texas Roadhouse Grill and all those places. So that's encouraging. That's encouraging. Let's all keep up hope for that. So let's see what we got here. Who else asked me a question? Hey, Mitch, how did you order the smoker? Next month I'm going to get one. Yes, Golf Addict, I did, and there it is. Let's see. Next question. Golf. Hey, Mitch, how the heck are you? Yeah, I saw that one. Mama Cracker said, is it trolling if I comment that I'd rather have a ribeye on a vegan channel? Is that trolling? It could be. I'm thinking about how I would feel. It depends how you do it. Depends how you do it. If you go on there with an attitude, let's give you an example. Let's suppose a vegan came to my channel and I was talking about how to sear a ribeye, and he left a comment that said, that looks delicious, but I would rather have a big salad. That would be fine with me. I wouldn't be bothered by that. I wouldn't consider him a troll. I would consider him somebody that's just telling me what his preferences are. He didn't find any fault with me. He didn't tell me I was doing anything wrong. He didn't criticize me in any way. His comment didn't demonize meat or my lifestyle. So why not? That's fine. But if he came on and he said, you should know that what you're doing is killing thousands of people, giving that horrible advice. You should be telling people to eat big salads instead. Yeah, that's a troll. So it all depends on how you put it. See, you can make your point sometimes in this world without being obnoxious and hurtful. And that's why I have my Monday morning little rant, just to point that very fact out to people, that nobody's making you watch this stuff. Nobody's forcing you to do what you do. Just go away if you don't like it. But I have people come on this channel that aren't carnivore. Some of them are keto. And they tell me time and time again, yeah, I like to do that. I like it with some Brussels sprouts or broccoli. I occasionally eat some burritos. I say, fine. That's fine. Knock on wood, the troll activity is at a minimum. People that intentionally want to come in here and disrupt things. Other than that, it's just ignorance in most cases, and lack of tact or social graces more than anything. But it's fun. It's fun. So no, don't think you're a troll if you go on and tell them that you'd rather have a ribeye. Just don't make fun of what they do. Why would you do that anyway, though? You're not going to change anybody's mind. I I make great use of that thing that YouTube allows us to do where it says, don't recommend this channel to me. Every day, I do that to anywhere between 2, 3, and 10 channels that are presented to me in my feed. Any channel that comes up, because they know that I'm into food and recipes and cooking because of my content that I put out, that I get all the channels of how to bake this and cook this, all the stuff that I don't want to eat. And these are from people who are not carnivore. Don't tell me how to cook carnivore meals. But I'm not interested in their cookies, so I say don't show me this channel anymore. I don't get very many vegans. I think I've already nixed all of the most popular vegan channels that I used to get recommended to me. Political channels, I pretty well nixed most of them on both sides. I'm not interested in being barraged with that battle every day and that war about who's winning and who's losing and whose opinion and talking heads. Sorry, had enough of that. And my feed right now is pretty well civilized, I would say. I'd say it's pretty well civilized as far as what I see. And more often than not, and I don't know how many people do this, is that's your recommended feed. If you click the button that says, subscriptions, then you'll only see a feed from the channels you're subscribed to, and you'll see them in the order of the newest on back. And that's a great place to look for the newest videos of the channels you're subscribed to, which is where you're bound to find the things that interest you the most. And I check that out generally first when I go on to YouTube to watch. And I watch a lot of YouTube. I hardly watch anything else anymore during the day. You can certainly get any news you need to find out on, from YouTube. You can certainly, any interest you have, it's going to pop up in your recommended feed if you've ever watched a video. And if you watch 2 or 3 videos about one subject consecutively, your entire feed will be full of videos about that subject. And you got to get away from that for a second to kind of get the balance back. It's very interesting. But the subscription feed is great, and it'll start out with one, and it'll say 1 hour ago, then 2 hours ago maybe, and then you'll see a few say 5 hours ago, and then 1 day ago, and the further down you go, there'll be older ones that you've probably seen already. I find that in order for me to keep showing up in your recommended feed, I can't take a day off. I know that because I have another Google account, and that's the account where I have my premium membership, no ads, and that's the account I watch all my videos from. And I can, when I release a new video, I go and see if it did come up in the recommended feed on that account, because as far as Google's concerned, I'm just a viewer in that account on that YouTube window. And I noticed that if I miss a day or two, I disappear. I'm always in the subscription feed because people may still be subscribed, although a lot of people get unsubscribed without doing it and have to resubscribe. That's just something YouTube does. It's nothing against carnivores. It happened to me in the drone channel. It happens to everybody no matter what channel they're in. Don't know how or why. It's an uphill battle. Gain a few subs, lose a few. I really don't worry all that much about subs. Yes, it's a gauge of how many new people are finding your channel. as opposed to just having your subscribers be the only ones that are watching. So it does tell you, and I've picked up a few trends in that department, but now I'm back down to 34,977. So I just lost 2 subscribers since the last time I looked, and that's how it goes, up and down, up and down. But it goes up more than it goes down. And last month I gained about 3,000 subscribers, so I can't complain, and I'm not complaining, and I'm not even that highly focused on that number because that doesn't mean anything. What means something is the number of impressions that you get, how many times your little thumbnail shows up on somebody's YouTube, either subscription feed or recommended feed. And we're all still trying to figure out how to make the best of that. But I do one a day, and I've gotten a system down now where it's not killing me. I spend 2/3 of my time reading and answering comments, the other 1/3 of my time shooting, editing, and publishing videos. And that's of the time I spend on YouTube. Spend a little bit of time cooking. Half the time I'm combining my cooking with filming a video. So it's not a bad life. I'm enjoying the hell out of it. There was a question about how far do I walk. I think Mark asked me that one. And I walk every other day, or let's say 3 times a week. Sometimes I don't think walking it's a good exercise, but I don't think it's as good as resistance training. So I try to, like, every other day. One day I'll do the resistance training where I go in and I do half-ass pull-ups and dips and push-ups. Push-ups I'm doing pretty good. Get pretty good at that. Deep knee bends. I get the resistance bands, which are the greatest thing I ever bought. That lets me work out all my shoulder muscles, triceps, and just about anything you can do with those bands. And I'll work out for a half hour. That's it. I mean, what am I trying to prove? I'm not trying to compete with Anthony Chafee in any kind of Mr. America contest anymore. But I do that. I do a nice workout, and then the next day I'll go for a walk. And maybe once a week I'll take my camera with me on a walk, because sometimes I just enjoy. I put the earbuds in, crank up some good music, and just get lost in it and walk and stop thinking about Carnivore and stop thinking about YouTube and stop thinking, because it'll drive you nuts. I don't care what you do or who you are. If you're 24/7 focused on one thing, it's not good. Not a good way to live. You need a break from that. You need to relax. And when I walk, minimum, I'll walk maybe 2.5 miles, sometimes as much as 5. But I don't see hugely long walks as being all that beneficial. Aerobic exercise isn't nearly as good as interval training, where you like sprinting or something like that. I can't run. I've had a bad back all my life. I have 2 compressed discs. If I try to run, I don't care how healthy I am on Carnivore, I'll be in bed for a week. I've always had that bad back. That's why I have that inversion thing that I lay upside down on. And being careful how I do my exercise, and doing that inversion therapy that stretches my spine, and eating healthy. I have lived completely and totally pain-free from any back problems for over 2 years now. So I have to be careful. So I can't sprint. I tried it once, and I got halfway into the first little sprint, and all of a sudden I started to feel that pain in my back, and I stopped. I can't risk that. So I'm not unique either. I don't think I'm unique. When you start to get older, we all have something wrong with us. We've all injured something that we have to watch out for. We all have to make concessions. We can't be an Olympic athlete anymore. I live my life trying to do the best I can, and however long it lasts and however healthy I can be, I think I'll be. I try not to overdo any part of it. I try not to be anal in the rules that I set. If I want to throw a hot dog with 1 gram of carbs into my soup, I'm going to do it. If I want to smoke a cigar, I'm going to do it. I don't care what other people think. And for those of you that have gotten to know me, you know I talk a lot about myself. That's what this channel is about. It's about me. What I do, how I do it, what it's doing to me. I have to talk about myself. I can't talk about you. I mean, if I talk about you, I get in trouble. I'm not a doctor. I have to talk about me. So I keep, basically, this is like the life of Mitch. And if those of you think I'm doing okay and better than most at my age, which I think I am, then you're interested in my life, and I'm happy to share it with you. And I share all of it with you, the good and the bad, the ups and downs. I rant. I cook. I talk science, I talk biochemistry, I talk evolutionary biology, cellular biology, all of that droll stuff that most people don't want to know, the whys that it works, talk about addiction because I'm an addict. And I hope to keep it interesting and try to make it fresh, but I have to talk about myself. Some commenters over time, not too many, have said, "You're always talking about yourself." Well, I'm talking about some old guy who's a carnivore, and I'm the only one of them that I know well enough to talk about. Oh, let's take a look at the chat here and see what's going on, because I do like to. Tammy has a question. I see it way down in the bottom of the chat, so while I see it, I'll answer it. Well, let me take this one first because yours is going to be a lot longer. BMAT says, "Hi, Mitch. Where's the link to that generator battery thing you ordered?" The link is in that little 3-minute video that I posted. But I'll throw it in the chat for you here real quick. Let's see here. Where is that? That is this one. And let me go up here and copy that. And I'll put it right in the chat for you, my friend. This is the eco thingy. There you go. I put it there. It says eco thingy. That'll take you to that page. And yes. Now, back to Tammy. Question: I don't understand why after 20 months my joint pain has not gone away. Well, it's possible, Tammy. There's a lot of reasons why that might. You may have damaged something that is not going to go away, that is not like arthritis or autoimmune pain. Have you, is it every joint that you have? Is it just one joint? Have you had a doctor look at it? Have you had it x-rayed or MRIs to find out why you're in pain? You have to do that. Another thing that it might be is you may still be eating something that you're having that kind of reaction to. It might just be a spice. It might be something as simple as garlic, or maybe you're using a little pepper. And the only way you're ever going to find out is to take advantage of what carnivore really can be, and that is the ultimate elimination diet. Means you're going to have to Do the lion diet for a month or two. Beef, salt, and water. Period. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know if you're doing beef, salt, and water. I don't know if you're eating some vegetables. I don't know if you're eating oxalates. Maybe you're getting something in you. I don't know. I don't know. Tell me. Tell me. But there's only two things it can be if you're in pain. Something's broke, or you're having an autoimmune response to something you're eating, and you shouldn't have that if you just eat beef, salt, and water. And if you don't believe me, look at Michaela Peterson or Jordan Peterson. They have to eat the lion diet. Michaela Peterson can't eat anything other than beef, salt, and water, or lamb, or ruminant animals, and salt and water, because that poor girl has had autoimmune problems. She's had, when she was a teenager, she had a hip replacement, ankle. It's crazy. So some people are that sensitive to some of these toxins that are in any plants, and just about every seasoning comes from plants. Every seasoning comes from plants. The only seasoning that we use that doesn't is salt, and that's a mineral. Every other seasoning contains plant toxins. And some people, a microscopic size portion of that toxin will throw them into maybe what you're experiencing. So, hope that answered that for you. Let us know. Let me know. Let me know. Thursday night on the private community live stream, we'll talk more. We'll talk more about it. Okay, let me search for some more questions here. Okay, we're back to the one we're out of the smoker. Mama Cracker wanted to know if she was trolling. Hi, Mitch. Grumpy Cat. Hi, Mitch. With the power out, how do you plan to recharge that power station? Did you get the solar panels? Well, I'll tell you what. Here's my deal. This is not meant for an extended power failure. This is meant for me to be able to power a refrigerator, a freezer, maybe a fan, maybe an LED light, table lamp, a TV. It'll probably keep those things going for 6 or 8 hours before it needs to be recharged. I have, from Harbor Freight, a little 2,000 watt gasoline generator and about 15 gallons of gas in gas cans. If it looks like it's going to be anything more extended, I'll drag that out, hook it up, and I can do two things with that. I can power the same few things, because this thing is a 2,000 watt deal too. So I can plug everything that I had plugged into that little generator. Plus I can charge this thing off of that as well. This is made for me. If I have to evacuate, for example, if I have to leave home and drive somewhere out there in Florida away from a hurricane, which I've done a few times since I've lived here, I can have this in the back of my SUV, and I have enough power. I have enough power there where I could actually live out of my SUV for a while if I had to. I can charge up every notebook computer I have, camera that I have. I could stay and be a YouTuber from my SUV, no matter where I went with this thing, and probably have enough power to do that for 3 or 4 days before I would need to recharge it, because those devices don't draw a lot of power. These are great to have if you rely on a lot of electronics that have, because it's got like six or 8 USB ports on it, and 6 or 8 outlets around the other side. You never know. I never know. To me, it's just, it was, for that price, there's enough potential use cases for me. If I go out, for example, decide I want to go out fly my drones for a day, I can. God knows how, you can't believe how many drone batteries, how long I could run chargers on this thing to fire up those drone batteries. This thing is not meant to power your house through an extended power failure, but it certainly would keep me gone more than likely until the power came back on. And if I never use it, that'd be okay too. But I find myself using battery banks, the smaller battery banks. I've got one that's like 10,000 milliamp hour battery in it, and I can charge my cell phone 5 times from that. Or sometimes I've had to use those things when I've been out and about. Anyway, hope that answers your question. Next question coming up here. Where is it? Please gather herb and spice ideas to make your own sausage patties. Fennel is one of them. Kathy, I don't do that. I do not do that. I do not eat plants, period. I cut all the plants out. I had rheumatoid arthritis. I could never figure out what caused that. It wasn't until I got rid of all of the plants that went away and stayed away. All spices, all spices, all spices are plants except salt. I don't miss them. I don't miss them. Very, very occasionally, I will take, very occasionally, I mean very rarely, when I make wings, I have some of this stuff I get at Sam's Club, this Kinder, it's called the Blend. And it's called the Blend. And it has garlic, pepper, and salt in it. And I'll dust the wings with that because I like the flavor and it doesn't bother me. But that's the extent of what I do. Yes, I love the taste of those flavorings, the fennel. I love the sausage that's got all those different spices in it. And if you can eat that stuff, that's great. That's great. But I can't. So I don't do it, and I don't do it in any of my recipe videos or anything else. Wow, look at this. Mark Davis. Thank you, Mark. Mark says, add them all together equals $150, which is to help you out on your new smoker. Thanks for your channel, Mitch. Now take us to Sam's Club shopping. Thank you, my friend. Thank you so much. I will have an official name plate engraved, which I will affix to my smoker, heretofore to be known as the Mark Davis smoker. There you go. Learned that trick from the synagogue I went to as a child. Because that's what religious people do. When you donate to their church or synagogue, they have a name plaque engraved and they stick it on something. And your name, it becomes the Abraham Rabinowitz park bench. Or the Evan Feingold urinal in the men's room or something. But everything, virtually every book, every piece of furniture in a synagogue, and I imagine it's the same in a church, has a name plaque on it. So my smoker, Mark, thank you so much. It is now the Mark Davis smoker. And if you don't want me giving you credit for it every time I have a video and refer to it as the Mark Davis smoker, let me know, and I won't do that. But that was most generous of you, my man, and I'll never forget that, so thank you. My community out there never ceases to amaze me, and it's not just the donations or money. It's who you are. You're great people. You're great people. Next question, let's see here. Where is it? Hey, Mitch, which recipe books would you recommend for the carnivore way of eating? I don't know. Are there recipe books? Are there? I've never, I'm sure there must be. I don't read any of them. When I get a wild hair to like make that soup, I just, with me, it's kind of like, what do I have to work with? What can I possibly do with it? And then I might look up to get an idea of the time and temperature for that particular cut of meat or whatever. So I make sure it's, I got a head start. But I make those things up. And I never really write them down. And you may laugh at this, but there are times when I decide, like, if I'm going to make that frittata again, I'll go back and maybe I have to look at my video to see if there was anything that I did that I had forgotten. I should probably write them down. I don't want to write a recipe book because the fun part about this is making your own stuff. Everybody makes their own versions of these things. They add their own touches. Some people are taking that frittata and turning it into almost like a pizza. They're putting cheese and pepperoni on top of it. And that's great as long as it doesn't trigger you to go out and get a real pizza. You're fine. With me, if I was eating things that looked and had that pizza taste and that pepperoni taste, I would, before too long, be dreaming about eating a real pizza. And that would sabotage me. I can't do that. That's why I tell y'all, don't eat no sugar versions of the foods that you're addicted to, because what they will do for you is just trigger that addiction. And eventually you're going to give in to it. You're going to give in to it. I don't know about which recipe books, but I don't think you need a recipe book to be a carnivore. There's 1,000 YouTube videos they call carnivore recipes, but I don't consider them recipes. I don't consider carnivore mashed potatoes, carnivore pizza crust, carnivore this or that. Carnivore is just meat. Maybe some dairy, some cheese, some cream. Different ways to prepare different kinds of meats in different combinations, and eggs and things like that. But basically, take a pot, throw some stuff in it, heat it up, and you got a carnivore meal. It's the simplest thing I ever lived. I learned how to sous vide. I learned how to sear. They're skills that if you learn those, you'll have fabulous food. The smoker for me is going to be a whole new adventure. Not that I haven't been exposed to it. My son's been smoking stuff for years and years and years, but I never paid much attention to it. He's got some Traegers and pellet grills and things like that. But I'm excited about this. I'm excited. And my problem is I'll probably smoke up so much food that I'll have to stop smoking for a while until I eat up what I previously smoked. The good news, here's the great news, guys. The great news is I have the equipment to vacuum seal that stuff properly. And I have a small chest freezer. And that chest freezer will hold more than a year's supply of food for me. I know that because I'm still working on steaks that I bought a year ago. So I know damn well that it would take me a year or more to eat up what's in the freezer. And it's only a little 5 cubic foot freezer that I bought for $200 at Best Buy. And if it stops working, I will buy a new one rather than try to have it fixed. But that question about the recipe book, I can't help you there. I would go to Google, go to Mr. Google, and say, in Mr. Google, carnivore recipe book. And there you go. There you go. One after another. Look at that. That's why you don't need me to answer questions like that. Look at these. Look at them all. Science-backed anti-inflammatory. The Carnivore Cure. That's from Judy Cho. Yeah. Shredded Chef. Michael Simon's Carnivore 120 Recipes. The Keto Carnivore Cookbook. There's more. You could probably go on Amazon and just type that same search. The Carnivore Code. That's, I know that. That's, who wrote that? That's Paul Saladino. His carnivore code now is to be eating 300 grams of carbs and fruit every day and honey. So we've kind of departed, but that was his original book. There's so many of them. There's so many of them. And there's a much better answer to that question than I gave you that I don't know. So you may find one, but I think you could probably find all those same recipes by just Googling what you want to cook. Say carnivore chuck roast, and every recipe that's in any of those books will pop up under Google. It is amazing the wealth of information that's out there. It's also amazing that I can still drink cold coffee. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. All right, let's see. What other questions do we have here? We have, Mitch, have you heard from Mark, Eat Meat for Life? He is always here. I haven't seen him in a couple of weeks, even in a member group. Ellen said that. Ellen, come to think of it, I haven't. I'll look. I'll definitely take a look. I'll search through the old comments on all the videos to see when the last time he was and commented, and remind me on Thursday. And we'll talk about it if he doesn't show up. But no, I haven't seen him in a week I think it's been a week or two. Rosie Red. Hey, Rosie, how you doing? Rosie decided she didn't need to be a moderator anymore because I now have a way to find and search out the comments. So I did want to thank Rosie. I wanted to, for all the help that she's been. You've been a tremendous help to me, and Rosie assured me that she's still going to be in all these things. And that's great because we enjoy having you here. So anyway, Mitch, do we get an additional discount from your Amazon store? Bought the Instapot and didn't know. No, you don't get any additional discount. They don't charge you anymore if you get it through my store. They just pay me a small commission. So it helps me out. I think the bookkeeping would be way too intense to have that many different prices, depending on where the link came from. People get in trouble doing that kind of thing. There are some vendors out there that have a different price for everybody, depending on how gullible they think you might be based on all the information that might be in databases. And they charge as much as they can. Amazon, at least, I don't think does that. They do change their prices a lot, but I don't think it's based on any individual person. So no, it doesn't work that way. The only thing that I have are the WeVac vacuum sealers, where they give my viewers a 15% discount. So if you went to Amazon and bought it, you'd pay 15% more than if you used my link that took you to the WeVac site. And they've been great. A lot of people have bought those things. I'm going to do another video on them again here pretty soon. A lot of people have bought them. Everybody's loved them. And they're fast. You get them in a day or two. Free freight. They ship them from here in the States. So far, so good. I love mine. My son loves the other one that I got because he commandeered that in a hot New York second, as they say. All right, where were we? Next case. You didn't answer miles walked per day. I want a refund, says Mark. I did, Mark. I answered you. I answered you a few seconds later. I forgot. I said I walk between 3 and 5 miles every other day, or at the minimum 3 days a week. So I'm sorry. I was so overwhelmed by your generosity. I lost my mind. Next question. Next question. Hi, Sandra. I asked Mitch to remove the wrench because he's got that shortcut master to see the questions. He doesn't need me now. Rosie, I'll always need you, sweetie. Always. Don't feel that way. And if you ever want the wrench back, just say so. You got it. Cheryl Cobbett says, question, should I be taking magnesium? Well, that depends. It depends if you aren't getting enough magnesium in the food that you're eating. Sad fact is most of us aren't. And the reason we're not getting these electrolytes, the potassium, magnesium, sodium, calcium maybe, iodine, some of these other minerals, base elements, and these are not compounds. These are just elements that were around at the time life began and became a part of the machinery of life. The sodium, the magnesium, the potassium are in most foods. A strip of Wright's bacon has, I think, 90 milligrams of potassium, but you need like 4,000 milligrams a day. Salt, sodium, we require sodium. These electrolytes are necessary for our electrical system to work. And what's the one thing that relies so much on our electrical system is our nerves and our brain and our heart to beat. And a lot of symptoms of heart problems are merely electrolyte imbalances or not enough electrolytes. Considering that things come up the food chain, the minerals are in the ground. The ground ends up getting into the plants that grow. From the plants that grow, it gets into the animals that eat the plants, whether they be bugs, grubs, worms, cows, or humans, for that matter, who are vegetarians, or keto, eating broccoli. And then we eat the animals, we carnivores. So that magnesium had to have come from the ground into the plants, into the animal, into us. And since the soils that they grow these plants in these days are being raped by monocropping, inadequate fertilization, because they don't let the animals crap on the land anymore, they spray them with man-made organic fertilizer that doesn't have the tens of thousands of different compounds in it that a cow turd might have in it. We're not getting the electrolytes we need. Now, you can go get blood tests and they'll tell you whether you're low on electrolytes. Oftentimes they don't really tell you that much because our bodies regulate these electrolytes in our bloodstream to such tight ranges that in order for that to get out of those ranges, you got to be way, way out of balance. So, and we also store quite a bit of this stuff in our body. So you really don't know. My philosophy and what I do for myself, as far as electrolytes go, what I do for me is I take some every day. I have a video where I mix them myself using a formula that many of the commercially available electrolytes use. I'm not some mad scientist that tried to figure out the difference. The amount of potassium, the amount of sodium, and the amount of magnesium that you get from the electrolytes mixed the way I mix them is about the recommended daily dose of these things from people who know what they're talking about. similar to what you might find in Dr. Berg's or Element. I have certainly more potassium than the Element has. I don't think it's got nearly enough potassium. It's got 60 milligrams of potassium when you need 4,000 a day. The Dr. Berg's mix has 1,000 milligrams of potassium, which is like 20 times more than the Element. So I didn't fool around with mine. I went with a dose that I thought would be adequate for all of them. I used magnesium citrate because it has a very mild laxative effect in the amount of it that's in mine. And I came up with a dose that's about a teaspoon, and I mix it with 40 ounces of water every day, and I drink it down. Generally before the end of the day, it's all gone, because when I go for a drink, I drink from there, and it's so diluted. It has the tiniest little tinge of salt taste to it, but you don't really taste it. It's like drinking ice water. And I got that thermos jug, and I pour 40 ounces. I fill it up from my Brita water filter, which has been in the fridge all night, so it's ice cold, and shake it up real good, and I've got electrolytes for the day. Nowhere near enough electrolytes to overdose on them, because we have the mechanisms to make sure that any overdose of that stuff is going to come right out of you anyway. So I would recommend that everybody supplement with some electrolytes. It can't hurt you, and it may help. It may help. Some people don't like to do it and don't do it. If you're very active, if you're outdoors a lot and you're running and you're sweating and you're doing gardening, yes, of course, you'll sweat that stuff out of you. If you're active, you should most definitely. Just don't drink Gatorade or any of those sweetened artificial, even the ones with artificial sweeteners. That stuff is crap. Know what's in them. I've gotten away from the sweetened electrolytes, even if they're stevia. I just decided, for me, addict that I am, it's better if I do not experience anything that tastes sweet. Works fine. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. I'm sure it would come back in a hurry if I started eating blueberries and ice cream and stuff like that again. I'd be done. I hope that answers your question, Cheryl, about the magnesium. You might do more research on your own, but it's an individual thing. Next question, Mitch, do you ride your bicycle? No, I haven't ridden my bicycle since I had my head injury. I don't know why. I walk instead. I could ride my bicycle. I have a couple of bicycles, but my balance got badly affected, and it took almost a year before I fully regained my balance. I don't think I'll ever be 100% again in my life. That's why I refuse to ride my motorcycle. I need to get rid of that thing. And you just got to be careful. You know, they cut open my skull and took out a huge blood clot, hematoma, subdural hematoma from me 3 years ago. It'll be 3 years ago, August. And it took me it took me almost a year to fully recover without feeling a little wobbly. So, don't do it. Don't hurt yourself like that. Doesn't take much to get a head injury either. So no, I haven't ridden it. I could, but they say you never forget. But no. Stormy says she got a stepper mostly for balance and a vibrating plate. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine on that now. Next question here is from BMAT. Hi, Mitch. Oh, where's the link to your generator battery? Okay, you got that. So we're going round and round here. Here's the one about Tammy's joint pain. Hey, Mitch, did you get your smoker yet? Trolling comment. Okay, I think I answered all the ones that are in there with the QQQs. It is 20 minutes to 10. Wow, have we been Lynn Williams says that Nashville Carnivore makes carnivore bagels. Yeah, I know. I know. And bagels, real New York, I shouldn't even talk about them, real New York water bagels were my downfall. Being Jewish, growing up in Philadelphia, right down the street from a bakery that made them, having chains like Einstein's Bagels and all those New York style bagel chains proliferate all over the place. I hate to admit this. I used to binge on those things. On the way home, I'd stop in one. I get a half a dozen bagels in a bag. They wouldn't make it home. They were for the trip home. I would eat a half a dozen of those huge bagels. Those things are the most fattening things on the planet Earth. And then for me to eat a carnivore bagel, first of all, it would be horrible. But it would still trigger my memories and my love for these bagels, these everything bagels, and salt bagels, and rye bagels, and sesame bagels. Oh, stuff is so addictive. So addictive. Ellen says, I need to think of a question to ask Mitch. Drone shots. I want the Mitch 5000. Jody, I can't believe you're still here, man. You must find this entertaining. Stormy Carnivore says air fryers are like phones. They make a new model every year. You're lucky if it takes them a year. I can't go a year on a cell phone before I'm not enticed by a new one. The newest one now that I'm enticed by, and I'm not buying it, I'm sorry, is that the new Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6. So I use my cell phone constantly all day long, because reading, answering comments, email. I mean, it's just never out of my hand, and I'm always doing something on it. And I'm saying to myself, well, this thing unfolds into a almost small tablet size thing. How much better would that be? But it's clunky, it's fatter. And this, I've got the S24 Ultra from Samsung here. It's got the same guts as the new ones. It's the highest speed processor. It's got a half a terabyte of storage. It's an incredible piece of technology. Does everything. I think I don't think I want to give this one up. I got this case for it that has a little stand, so I can stand it over here, and it has a clock when it's turned off. This is still on the screen, so I see notifications. I see the clock, so I can, while I'm doing my live stream, I set this down here, and I have a clock that I can see what time it is. It is, I got another notice from Amazon here. Let's see what they want. Prime Day flying by. Don't let the savings get away. All day long. One after another. All day long. This phone works great. I'm going to keep it. I've had it for less than a year. Be stupid for me to get a new cell phone now. But gadget freak that I am, it's crazy. It's nuts. Let's see, where are we? Recipe books. Legends of Long Brew. Mitch, what drives your 3 monitors client service? Oh, the video card. This computer I got here is basically just a Dell gaming computer. It's got an AMD graphics card in it that has 3 monitor outputs. Other than that, I don't know what services Windows is using to drive it. William McCartney says, hello, everyone. And hold on a second here. We have dropped back. I have lost 6 subscribers since I started this live stream. See, who knows? Who knows? I don't think it's from the live stream. It's just that's the way it works. 6 people either saw my rant video or got offended that I talked about buying that. It's amazing with people. But I guarantee you by tomorrow, Morning when I wake up, it'll be 35,000 subscribers. Sometimes it goes up and down 10 at a time. Down 10, up 10, down 10, up 10. It's crazy. Actually, I lost 6. 5. It's at 73 now. It was up as high as 79. So not too bad. Not too bad. I don't care. If I lost 100 subscribers, I wouldn't care. That number, it's just an overall gauge of how much reach my channel's having. That's all I really care about. David and Mitch, have you tried ghee for finishing sous vide in a frying pan? I can. Yeah, I do have some ghee. I have some that I buy on Amazon, and it's grass finished. It's expensive, and I use it sometimes, but I just tend to use butter. I'll tell you when I use the ghee. When I eat seafood, if I eat shrimp or scallops, and I like to dip them in drawn butter, that's what ghee is. So I take a spoonful of the ghee, put it in a little custard kind of glass dish, put it in the microwave, melt it down, put a little dash of salt in it, and away I go. I'm good. Let me go down to the bottom of the chat and address people that are still here before we say goodnight. Steve Studley says, Mitch, do you really only have 22 likes tonight? I don't know. Let me see. Let me refresh my browser. I have 93, according to my browser here, which is nice. Thank you very much, everybody. It's another thing I don't really focus on that much. And Kathy says, lobster season now in Florida. Speaking of ghee, yes. Josephine, I'm thinking of cutting a few subscribers. I don't have the time to watch them all. Yeah, but you know what? Most people don't unsubscribe. I'm still subscribed probably to thousands of YouTube channels that never come up in my feed. I never watch them. Most of them are probably defunct and not even putting out videos. And Ellen says she got a brand new pair of roller skates and you got a brand new key. I remember that song. TJ Byers, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Good to see you. Mama Cracker, Boyd Lamb, you're taking me down the nostalgia rabbit hole. Josephine, I don't think I said hi to you yet. How you doing? How you doing, Boyd Lamb? Okay, chat is moving up faster. Question. Ellen, not a question, but for your attention, Mitch. Mark showed up tonight. He was on vacation. Oh, great. Is he here in the chat somewhere? If you're here, hi, Mark. Good to see you. Yeah, everybody worries about you, man. It's nice to have a community like that, isn't it? Linda G says, Mitch, you said once that you were almost a hermit. I live the same way, but you're always happy, or do you feel alone often? If you answer, you are always happy, I will start smoking cigars. No, nobody's always happy. But the one thing I'm never, believe it or not, I'm never lonely. I've lived quite a colorful life. And that's ups and downs. And I've done a lot of stuff in my life. You've heard some of the stories. And through it all, when I look back, I seem to have always been searching for alone time. Or that's why I had a big boat, because it was a place I could go to get away from everything and everybody and spend a couple days on it. I've always been better that way, and that's unusual for a human being. Somebody asked me recently, why don't you have a dog? I talked about that on Monday. My answer to that question was, why the hell would I want a dog? I don't want to have any more. I don't want any more to have to take care of another living thing on a day-to-day basis. I don't want to have to, and there's nothing that could give me. I understand how affectionate dogs are and how people get so attached to them. I don't need that anymore in my life. I don't need somebody, something to need me in any way. That's a freedom that I relish now, that a living thing's life depends on me performing a task, walking it, feeding it, walking behind it with a paper glove and a plastic bag, cleaning up after it. I could no more do that. No, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. So, no. I can be a hermit and be happy. Could you? Most people can't. But I know of an awful lot of people who just relish it. I know people who've just dropped out of society. I know people that disappeared and have a cabin in the woods, and they'd be, if they never saw another human being, they'd be happy. Maybe when society beats you up enough, you get that way. Maybe when your most intelligent conversations that you have are in your own mind. Maybe that happens. Who knows? I reflect on it sometimes. I reflect. There are times when I say, yeah, it'd be nice to have a little company. The minute I get some company, I'm gone. Wonder when they're going to leave already. I got a cigar to smoke. I'm not antisocial in any way, but if I'm going to socialize with somebody, I got to have some reason to be attracted or drawn in, either physically or intellectually, or I'd rather be alone. Anyway, I hope that answers your question. Are you still planning to make the carnivore stew in an Instant Pot? Grumpy Cat says. Well, that soup that I made was almost a stew, but yeah, I'm going to be trying all kinds of things in that. But Linda, I hope that answered your question about me being a hermit, and I'm not alone. I'm not alone. I got more friends now, more people to talk to than I ever had in that I could have in 1,000 lifetimes. There are thousands of you out there whom I have conversations with every day, even if it's just a line. I know you're there. A couple of you have actually become personal friends of mine, and we communicate. So, no, I'm far from alone. Far from alone. I've got my children. My son is 15 minutes from me. My daughter's on the other side of the state. Life is great for me right now. Don't mistake the rants for any kind of anguish in any way. It's entertaining. It lets me blow off some steam because I have opinions. But you may notice when I do those things that the next comment that I might be talking about might be funny, and I go immediately from ranting to laughing my ass off, because that's what I'm doing inside while I'm ranting. To me, it's fun. I enjoy doing it. I just enjoy doing it. I think Steve says, I love dogs, but no more for me. Yeah, they're a responsibility. And they're needy. They're needy. And B says, have a great night. I will. I'm going to close it down. Linda G said, Herbert, 25% of the time I feel sad, but overall I cling to my cat. Well, that's where pets can be great for you. And I don't tell people not to have pets. I don't ever tell people to do that. No, I don't want almost to have a bagel, says Ricky Lee. Listen, guys, I've been rambling on here for a couple hours. I thank you all. Thank you all for coming in. Thanks again, Mark Davis, for for the smoker. And you have an open invitation, my friend, anytime you're in Florida. I'll smoke up a feast for the both of us. Everybody else who came in, always happy to have you here. Hope you enjoyed it tonight. I will get a little traveling music going here. Turn it down so I don't blow your brains out with it. And I'm going to take the rest of the day off, guys. Hope you do too. I hope I didn't miss anybody's question tonight. I think I got them all because I seem to be going round a couple times in circles. But seems to work. Seems to work out. Thursday night, I'll see you all on the live stream. I haven't even thought about a video for tomorrow, but rest assured, I will dream something up. And tomorrow afternoon, I'll be there. Can't think of anything else, so just take the rest of the day off and eat meat.